Hello everyone, welcome to Carrie's Crochet and Craft. I am doing an update on what I've been working on. I haven't done too much more, or actually I haven't done anything more on the Calvin doll yet because it's been out here and I haven't been out here much. I am actually going to have to take it inside to work on from today on because my oldest son and my second oldest son, they'll be coming home from college today, which is 5 miles up the road. And so this room will become my son's bedroom again, which means I gotta clean it up a bit and take whatever I want to work on into the house. Of course, I can always come back out here to get stuff if I need, but I prefer not to. Just because, you know, it's his room while he's here. But it shouldn't be too bad to just take what I have in here and move it inside to work on, because I think I told you guys I had cleaned up part of the house there for doing Thanksgiving dinner. So I actually have a nice sitting area there, and I can probably video inside the house now that I have a really nice area to set up in. So probably get to see me in the house in a couple videos. But that means taking in the Calvin doll and making sure that my youngest son doesn't see me working on it. This one and the Hobbs kitty cat doll. Yeah, so I still need to work on that. Calvin and Hobbs doll, the Calvin doll. Other things I've been working on. So I started one of those capelets, ponchos that I was commissioned to do. This is, I had previously done, I think, some of the granny squares, which are there, and I ended up having to make 8 of them. So I got them all attached together, and then I started sewing, or not sewing, crocheting the rest of it. And it's a lot wider than my other one. So I don't know. I'm used to making things with pre-measurements already done for me, and I can just follow the directions and then it should fit. But having to judge for myself, I mean, I hardly know the lady. I met her once at the craft show that we were at, and I know her friend, but to say, hey, can I call you up and have you try this on to see if it fits? I just don't know. I don't know how it's going to fit, and I hope it's going to be okay. But I didn't do the scalloped edge on that like I did on my pink one. I just did like a single crochet around. So, and then I was following the pattern for the most part. I did do some extra rows in here to make it taller. And then right now I'm in the part that goes up into a turtleneck type thing. It's a lot wider than mine is. Mostly, I guess, because I use a larger hook. So I guess that's part of it. But also, I think the stitch count around somehow ended up with I don't know, like 6 or 8 more stitches than what are on mine. So I don't know what's different there. But I was trying to determine how high to go on this, and I guess I'm going to have to go a little bit more because that's not enough to be a turtleneck. I don't know. Should I try to take it in some more, or should I just leave it like that? I guess that might be okay. I just don't know size-wise. Anyway, that's what I've gotten done on the commissioned poncho. And then I have one more to make after that. I still need to do, I should work on that. The Highland cow hat. I need to get that done. What's today? Today's Tuesday. I should work on it. I'll try to get to it today, maybe. Despite having those 2 projects to work on, I started another project. This is going to be another Christmas gift. This one is for my son's girlfriend, which I think she found my channel to watch. So I hope she's not going to see this. Maybe I should put a little note. Don't watch this video. Anyway, I wanted to make her a little capelet. And So I found some DK weight yarn that I already had in stock. I didn't even have to go buy it. And I'm kind of making up my own pattern. So I really like the Granny Smith idea at the bottom, like this one. Granny Smith. Why do I always say that? The granny squares. I really like the idea of the granny squares border like that. So I have this book because I didn't want to just use that granny square. I wanted to use a different one. So I have this book of 99 granny squares to crochet, and I've flipped through. They have colored pictures of all of the different squares that they have the patterns for, and there's more on that cover, and then there's several inside. They have different colorways. There's that. Oops. And then these. And I wanted one that was all one color because I wanted the color that the yarn that I chose. Excuse me. The yarn that I chose is a lightly variegated one. And so I didn't want to have one where you have to do a lot of color changes, which I know all of these you could do, you know, in one color if you wanted. But sometimes the directions are different for when you change a color. They'll like, you know, finish off and then attach yarn to the next color to the corner. Whereas if you're working in the same color, you know, they'll say something like, you know, you're going to do a couple double crochets and then you work into the corner and that type of thing. And so it's always bringing it up in the double crochets row rather than just cutting it off and attaching it to the corner to start. So I chose one that was all one color for the pattern, and I'll show you which one it is here shortly. I just wanted to show you all the pretty granny squares, and actually has some hexagons too. Anyway, I guess I already showed you which one I was going to do, or which one I did. Let me see here. Okay. I went for this because it's got a rather vintagey look to it. It is number 68, this one up here. So it's got some puff stitches in there. And I like how I just like how vintagey it looks. So my puff stitches aren't as big as theirs though. Although they probably used 4-weight yarn for that. I used a DK weight. So the yarn that I opted for, I was trying to see if I wanted to do like the bulky yarns, but I was looking around for different cape patterns. I don't know, I wasn't finding what I wanted, and so I decided to go this route instead. And then when I came out to look at yarns, I found this one in my stash, and she likes pink, and so I went with this. This is Lighthouse Wildflowers, and I think it's one I got from Hirschner's. It was on sale, I don't know, $1.25 per skein. It's a DK weight, or a 3 light, 80% acrylic and 20% wool. So this is a 1.75 ounce skein, 136 yarns. So you can machine wash it, but then dry flat. So I started using, this is the color Blushing Bride. So it's got pink in there, but it's also got a light brown, a beige color, and a cream color. And I forgot what I was going to say. I don't know. I forget. But this is how it's looking. So I started out with just 6 squares, and each square is about 5.5 inches wide. And I thought, well, I could get away with just 6, but that ended up not being enough. So I made a 7th one, and I think that's what I'm at right now. Yeah. But I still think it's not quite enough. I don't know, it might be, now that I'm stretching it out a little. Yeah, it might be enough. I don't want it to be too long of a cape. I want it to come down like not quite to the elbow. This might be enough. And so from here, I'm just going to do rows going up, and then some of the rows I'm going to have be the puff stitches there. If you can see those right here, and then in here and in here. So I'll have rows of double crochet and then rows of the puff stitch. I think that'll be really classy looking, and then I'll of course decrease as I go up over the shoulders, and then make a tie to tie it off with. So that's going to be one of the Christmas presents for my son's girlfriend. So that does it for my update. I haven't, as far as my items at the consignment shop, the gal who runs it has been putting up videos of all the things she has for sales, but I haven't caught a glimpse of, or maybe a very brief glimpse of, the shelves where my items are, so I don't know if anything is sold yet. I never did make any more colors of gloves, mittens to take in there, so I just don't know if they've sold at all. I told her I would bring in some other colors last week, and I never did. Or was it the week before I told her that? So I think maybe I'll try to crank out a couple more colors and take them in there. And also, I don't know, just kind of drop in and see how things are going before, because we're going to go to Idaho for Christmas. So I might drop in there before we leave just to see how things are going. I haven't gotten any more of those Brie mouse things, items, dolls done. I don't know. I've been working on this and this other capelet. And for a while there, a few days there, I just didn't feel like crocheting much. So I know, gasp. What? Didn't feel like crocheting? It happens sometimes. So I think that's about it. I just wanted to do a quick update for you guys. And I'll try to do some more videos, even though it won't be out here with my wonderful crochet wall, yarn wall behind me. So yeah, I think that'll do for now. So we'll see you next time. Bye.